Hey, morning, folks. Thanks for joining again. It's TGIF, depending where you are in the world. So, thanks for joining in. So today we're going to talk about the project management interface, otherwise known as the PMI. And so this is really about really showing you about the PMI, really walking you through it as the project leads and committers. This is it's an interface that you'll see quite a bit. And it's something that I've had a few questions come in over the last couple weeks about the PMI, and a few things kind of cropped up, and I'm like, hey, we can kind of get this out in video here and kind of walk through it. So it's just sort of a show and tell walk through the PMI. So probably a little bit of history. So it was rolled out in 2013. So it replaced the developer portal. So if you're new with us, you won't really know what that is. You'll still use it a little bit. But if you've been with us for a while, you'll know that the developer portal was where you did most of your project functionality with. So the PMI really consolidates a lot of key things into one page, which is kind of what we're in the one-stop shop for for the administrative side of the project. So generating IP logs for releases, scheduling releases, spinning CQs, checking contributors if they cite as CLA. But then it's also for your committers and contributors too, where they can find out, where's the project's code repositories. How do they pull? Where's the website? Where's the documentation to actually get going? Mailing lists, how to contact. So it's a really great place to really consolidate and helps reduce your administrative needs, right? So you don't have to go to multiple places. And I think it's a real win-win. So like I said, it rolled out early 2013, and it's still under active development. So awesome! It's definitely great because it's a really consistent interface for all the projects. And Wayne Beaton, the director of open source, has been real key in rolling that out and key to work on. So you may have noticed it's also been wrapped in our new Solstice theme. So it's really slick and easy to look at. So yeah. So I'm going to take a quick walk through the PMI, and so I'm going to focus on the CDT project. So that's the C/C++ development tooling project. So just give me a second here and share out my screen. Okay, and so what you're looking at here is the PMI page for the CDT project. And so what's really great about this is I find it quite easy on the eye. So if you look down to the left navigation block here, there's a lot of high-level tools that you use on a real daily basis. So it's a quick overview of the navigation here. So contributor agreements. So basically, if a contributor sends you a patch or a Get review, you can quickly check. Do they have a CLA? You enter their Eclipse email address, and it'll tell you if they've signed a CLA on file. Intellectual property, create a contribution questionnaire. So if your new project, your initial contribution, or third-party libraries will be entered here. Generating an IP log. This is so if you're going to do a release review, you need to submit one of these, but you already know that. But this is really great because it can really pull from all your repositories if your information is up to date, and really help you get the IP log generated. Now there might be a few little tweaks you might have to change. It does the bulk of the work for you. Review downloads. It's really just a scanning utility that we run nightly, looking for third-party libraries and other such that make sure there's a corresponding CQ. So it's more of I'll call it more of a diagnostic tool that you can use. Make sure that your code is and all your dependencies are properly documented. Get communication. Sending emails to your PMC mailing list, to the developer lists. It's a really easy way to send it out. Creating a release, it's so easy here. It's so easy. We make it so easy. And then some just project links. The website. Your documentation. Your current releases. Do you have anything scheduled? So you'll be using sort of the navigation block here quite a bit actually on a daily basis, but it's a real key piece we put out in front. And I do know the community was certainly involved in helping with the UI on that, so kudos for that. And so if you look across the top here, downloads, who's involved, and we'll go through each of these in a little more detail. A quick blurb about the project, your logo, Now we do have some restrictions around the logo that you have. That should be a member company and such. And I'll post at the end of this, I'll post some links around this in the comments section. So yeah, I like that. I quite like that logo. It's got the, yeah, I like that. So this is kind of neat too. So if you're a member company and you have a contributor on the project and they've been committing bits over the last 3 months, your logo shows up, which is really great because you can, folks find this page where you can share this and you can see right away, what your company or other companies are involved in contributing to the project. So I really like this because it really brings out, who's involved. It's just not here's a CDT, but you've got all these great companies that are putting resources and time into developing the software. So I quite like that. Commit activity across is really kind of a quick snapshot. So, all right, so let's go a little more detail around the navigation. So validate a CLA. I'm not really going to go through that, but you'd click that and you'd put in an Eclipse address. Actually, I will. So I'll just open that up here. Let's take a quick one. So if I put check for a CLA. All right, so with that email address that I have a valid CLA on file. Creating a contribution questionnaire. So if you click that, we're not actually going to submit one, but I'll just open this up. So so many of you may be familiar with this. So so basically, you have two choices. There's either contribution to code maintained by us, which is project code, and third-party requests. Again, it's really great with the PMI functionality of really guiding you through this is what your choices are, providing context around that. And we'll see a little bit of that later on when we talk about updating the project metadata. Generating an IP log, I'll just click this. So this will do the automagical work for us. And there's always going to have to be, you're needing to review this yourself, but this gets you about 8/10 of the way there, which is really nice. This is such a handy little feature. Review downloads. Some of these are pretty self-explanatory. Sending a list of the dev list. Creating a release. So if we click on that, okay, when do you want to pick your release date? And we'll work with you. We have 2 release dates a month, and your release number. And one thing I'd say when you do create your release is tagging it. There's a release type. Is it a major release? So API breakage, a minor. A new features added. And if it's just a bug fix, that's just a service release. So just keep that in mind that if it's only bug fixes, tag it as a service release. What else do we have here? Then we have the website plan, getting started. Really, I'd really make sure this links off to how you can. Someone wants to download your project and actually contribute. Good documentation is really key, and this is a great way to push it out there. And same on your website too. Having at the top banner of how you can download the code and such, and documentation. So let's take a quick little view over the top navigation bar here. So downloads. So where can folks actually get the downloads from? Who's involved? Give a second here. So again, we can sort of break this down, which I think this is really kind of a neat visuals here. Individual activity and then organization. Who's doing what. Again, the member companies, if they've been committing in the last 3 months. Project leads, committers, historical committers. And I think there's some talk about having contributors actually listed on here at some point. Again, it's a nice way to sort of show all the hard work that the individuals are putting in to have them here. So documentation. Again, what's the license of the project? The hierarchy, where does it fall under? So the top level project here is tools. We can see the various releases and release reviews. And links over here for again the website, documentation, getting started, the wiki, developer resources. So if you're a committer and or a potential contributor, this is your one-stop sort of shop right here. Report a bug, view bugs that are open, summarize the bugs. So I'll just summarize the bugs here, which is just a tabular overview of what's going on with the bugs, and then most importantly, as from a committer or contributor point of view, where can I get the code? In this case, CDT is reviewing with Garrett, listing what build technologies are involved. So this is a great place. Everything's there. How do you report a bug? Pull the code, and then contact us. How do you get in touch with the project itself, right? So you more than likely not have questions, and how do you, where's the mailing list? Right, here we go. What form are they using? But I predominantly, mailing list, right? So CDT-dev, right? Click on that, sign up if you're not already, and you're good to go. So, like I said, so PMI is really for the administrative side, but also for the committers and contributors where they can get the code from. Yeah, so we looked over the navigation. This is pretty quick. So I just want to kind of walk you through it a little bit. So we've talked a bit about project metadata, and what really is that? So that's really the project description, the license, mailing lists, your code repositories, your Bugzilla components, and that. So most of that is fairly static information that once you enter it, it's there. So really the question is who maintains the metadata, and that's really up to the project leads and the committers themselves to make sure that's up to date. That they're putting their release reviews, scheduling those on here, that they're, if your web form, your mailing lists change, that you're updating that, or if you were using Git and then you've switched to Garrett, that you've made sure that change and that information has been reflected, or if you've updated some of your documentation on getting started or broke out a new section for contributors, that you're putting this back on here so that folks can come here. This is their landing page. Really, that's what it is. Really, at the end of the day, is a landing page that helps you, but also helps your community. So make it easy for them. You keep it up to date. It's very minimal effort, and we're going to walk through in a moment and show you actually how you do that. So it's a win-win for everyone. So let's walk through and show you how you'd enter your metadata. I'm not going to edit any of the metadata here, but I'll just show you. So you basically log in. Now you'll notice that there are some additional menu items along the top, and they're just, you won't actually see those. They're just for our internal use here at the Eclipse Foundation. So once you log in with your Eclipse account, you just click at it. Just give it a second there, and here you go. And so we'll just walk through these pretty quickly, and see, the project name, the basics. This is a mature project, so it's graduated. The logo. Again, I really like this here. We have these little helpful descriptions. Very easy editors here to put in the description. One of the key things little tip actually is for the description is make it very descriptive. So the first paragraph we use elsewhere. So if you go to eclipse.org/projects and search for a project, so you're looking for X text, we will actually use the first paragraph from the description as the teaser for projects, right? So make sure your description is sort of that elevator pitch. What's the project do? Why would someone be involved? What's great about it? And that'll kind of show up elsewhere. So we kind of help drive interest to the project through that. So again, here we go, the little description at the bottom. Now, I know one of the things we'd like to do is actually move the description to the top at some point. So like I say, it's under active development. There's little tweaks in that. So if you see anything that could make your life easier or things that perhaps we've missed, send us an email, emo@eclipse.org, or alternatively, you can open up a bug, and I'll have that link where you should open the bug up against the PMI in the links section. Scope. They should probably have that entered here. License. This this isn't going to change. Source code. Let's see. So your source repositories. Again, we give you some information on what that should look like. If you're using GitHub, where can they find your downloads? So if you look at, say, the builds, this is what they're using to build it. So Maven and Tycho. Any build documentation. So say, for instance, you had continuous integration set up, you might have a link off to that, how it's built and such. Your downloads, so download message. So Marketplace, if you had your plugin on Marketplace. Communication, so the mailing lists. So there's, most of this data, once it's entered, is it's going to stay pretty static. But it's, again, if changes do happen, that you are using it to help your community out. So, and one of the things I've really heard back from quite a few projects that I've talked to is that they quite like the web interface compared to the dev portal that we used to have. So this is great. Like, this is where we're heading, and we'll continue to make it better. So let me switch back here. So that's really sort of in a nutshell is the PMI. There's documentation around it and how links posted. But for the most part, it's really, and this is kind of a quick walkthrough. This is what it is. This is what it does. This is some of the kind of the neat features about it. How you can use it, and if you have any questions or any more detailed questions, we could probably have a hangout for each of the committer tools in and of itself, right? But this is sort of just a real quick overview if you're sort of new to the PMI. As always, get in touch with us at emo@eclipse.org if you have more questions, or there's something that you're not sure about, or there's some functionality that we're missing or you'd like to see. We're definitely here to support you. And the PMI is definitely one of those tools that we're really working hard to really make project life easier in any which way we can, so you can really get down to what you really want to do, and that's coding and pushing bits and helping your downstream consumers. So I'll just give everyone here a second if there's any questions. Any questions? Okay, well, keeping in line with the TGIF, that is the short and sweet, and we will see you guys in 2 weeks' time. And just have a great weekend. If you have any questions, get in touch with us, emo@eclipse.org, or check the links at the end of the video when it gets posted up there. That should get you going. Anyways, thanks a lot, folks. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you soon. All right, bye.